So welcome back to Decoy Noise in a very special versus edition of the channel, because we're going to be going over an entitled parents thread that is, I just saw a lady get tasered for trying to snatch a woman's face mask to give to a child. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing down below. We just hit, I think, 629 subscribers, which, believe it or not, is a big deal for me. So I mean, if you do, also drop a comment saying which number subscriber you are, because that does help me figure out my growth and all that other stuff. But let's just kind of skip that fluff talk and get back to the post, because this one, like I said, is going to be intense. So, original poster says, I argued with my husband about whether or not to post this because I'm pretty sure this will make the local news, and I didn't want to burn this account just yet. But we won RPS, so here we are. Prepare yourself. This story has layers. We were at the dreaded big box store picking up potting soil because we're going to do it ourselves through the isolation. Things aren't crazy here yet, but there are 2 per customer limit on a majority of items, so I assume this means everything. So we're getting 2 bags each of a few different types of soil. My husband is loading the last of 8 bags on our cart when I hear her. I know it's a Karen just by the level of unnecessary outrage in her voice. Karen, are you kidding me? Not a lot of people are out here in the garden center, so we all looked to her. I was almost disappointed to see she didn't have the requisite haircut. She actually looked like a frazzled mom, her kid tugging on her hand, and an overfilled handbasket of groceries. And I had a moment of, girl, I feel you, but damn it, she was pointing at us. Karen, you can't buy that many. You are hoarding. My husband, yeah we can, we're getting 2 each. Karen, oh you don't fool me, I know what you're doing. Then the husband says, so do I. F off. And I'm just sitting here imagining all the ways I'm gonna rock his world tonight. I wish I didn't have to read that. Okay, press on. Well, Karen huffed at that, spun around and yanked her kid to go back inside to complain to the employee working at the register nearby. Now, we already paid for our items. The employee had come out and scanned the bags earlier, and he could easily see our cart from the inside. So, being finished, we pushed the cart out of the garden center into the parking lot, and then to the automatic doors open behind us, and then I hear, now they're stealing. Just great. We load the soil in the car and turn around to bring the cart back and look at plants. By the time we get back, Karen has given up trying to convince the employee we're the Bonnie and Clyde of dirt and is now trying to negotiate skipping somebody in line because she has a child, you see. And her handbasket, well, it's just so full and heavy. Could she just please just scooch right on here real quick? It'll just be an extra second, she swears. The woman Karen is trying to skip is a young, maybe college age, and wearing a face mask. Not a medical mask, but the stretchy kind where you're wearing when you're riding a motorcycle or when you're skiing. My husband just informed me it's called a neck gaiter. The mask is black and has scary wolf teeth on it, so it honestly made the girl look like somebody you shouldn't F with, even though she's wearing a Gap t-shirt, flip-flops. Mask girl is just shaking her head no, and that's all I got as we dropped off the cart. I browse, pick up a couple plants, and we head inside to wait in line. Now it's showtime. Karen and Mask Girl are near the register facing off, no pun intended. From the looks of things, Mask Girl finished her purchase and Karen stopped her before she could leave. I don't know if she grabbed her or anything, but Karen was still holding her full handbasket, so she hasn't checked out yet. Well, she hadn't paid for her groceries yet, but because clearly this woman had checked out. Okay. Karen, you don't even need it now. You're leaving. My son could get sick because you won't give it to him and he needs it. Mask Girl, heck no, you can't have it. Back off, lady. Karen, but my son really likes it and it's obviously made for boys anyway. Why would you ever want to wear something so scary? Mask Girl, because I like it and it has my germs on it. Why would you want to put a stranger's mask on your kid? Karen, why are you being so rude? You wouldn't let us go through the checkout first, now you're making my son very upset. Mask Girl, your problem, not mine. And then Mask Girl turns to lean and Karen manifests the biggest balls ever and grabs Mask Girl by the back of her mask. Now, let me make a side note here. When all of this is going down, we're just standing in line watching. The register is still going, boop, 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 as the employee scans items, but otherwise, we're all just inside this hypnotic bubble. But when Karen reached out towards Mask Girl, it was like the bubble popped and made everything crystal clear. Not slow-mo or anything, but I absolutely felt hyper-aware, like Spider-Man. That's funny. Karen reaches out. People on both sides of me inhale loudly. Karen grabs a mask and yanks. A lady on my right yells and my husband steps forward. So getting late. Okay, I mean, it helps illustrate the story, I guess. Mask girl tucks her head down and turns to Karen like a pissed off bull with a bright and shiny new target. I think Karen was gonna say something like, "Don't walk away from me" or something, but all she got was a "don't" crack. Oh, so like she punched her in the face or something? I looked around because the noise was so loud I figured the roof was about to cave in, but out of the corner of my eye I see Karen spasm and drop to the floor writhing. Little Miss Mask Girl had a effing taser. I don't know when she pulled out this tiny little flashlight looking thing, but she laid Karen out with it, okay? And not one of us moved for it. Felt like forever, like we were frozen. And then it was effing bedlam. Security guard shows up, more employees show up, Mask Girl's chilling like she's been through this before and knows what comes next. The kid is screaming that the wolf girl killed his mom, even though she's groaning and sobbing on the floor and clearly not dead, and maybe wishing she was. The people that had been in line with us were all talking at once, trying to tell the security guard what happened. Oh, this is bedlam. We hung around just witnessing insanity for maybe 2 minutes before Karen started choking out demands for an ambulance, the police, a lawyer, the mayor, restitution, and reparations. My husband made eye contact with an employee and got the thumbs up when he put out the plants on a shelf and pointed towards the door. We got the F out of there. We drove home in silence until my husband parked the car in our driveway, and then we just burst out laughing. Neither of us have ever seen anything like that before. We live in a small beach town. People are super laid back and mellow. Karen was anything but, and I hope to never see her again. ETA, not sure what the awards mean, but I thank you very much. I made this account to tell the story that happened 25 years ago, and I blew my shot at a Karen instead. Slowly responding to messages, but to answer a couple cues, I can't access the security footage. I'm an unreliable narrator in what Karen's body actually did. I wasn't looking directly at her, but she flailed, fell, and squirmed while groaning. I do not know the difference between a taser and a stun gun. Mask Girl had what looked like a thin baton flashlight. We have very lax taser laws in this state, and thanks for reading. Take care of yourselves and stay safe. I guess that's a good adage right now. Everybody's staying safe. I really do have a very good base of subscribers. Everybody always like, they look at me and they say, "Man, you're looking tired, like make sure you're staying safe and being well rested." So I want to extend that to all my viewers. Hopefully you guys are all staying safe. Like right now I don't have the greatest camera, my skin is looking terrible, and it's just because I only have access to one like N95 mask right now, and I just need to recycle it every single day. I'm not like, upset about that. That's just what we're living in right now. So like I said before, I'm always going to give my personal feedback on it. We're going to go to the top post as well. Then we're going to go to some controversial comments because we want to see every facet of this right here. But honestly, my takeaway from this is that lady had it coming. I know this isn't Am I the Antagonist, but yeah, the Mask Girl, she was in the right. She had every right to like defend herself, especially if she's trying to leave a store and getting yanked and pulled back by the mask. Now, I'll always be the first person to say, hey, let's open up some decoy court right now and see like, hey, are they BSing us? Is this a made up story? Blah, 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 whatever. But honestly, it kind of seems like this could have been a made up story, maybe because everybody's hyper reactionary right now that it could be a real story, but it's just the idea that I don't really know if people say, I demand your mask now because you wouldn't let me cut in line. I guess my my knee-jerk reaction is this is a real story just because what's going on right now. So let's go into the top comments. Also, drop a comment in this video as well if you think this is a real story or what you think you would have done in the situation if you were Mask Girl or if you just were one of the witnesses. So the top comment is, Mask Girl is badass. The next reply is, she's a hero Gotham deserves and needs right now. I don't think I want a girl with a freaking wolf mask tasing people in the grocery stores, but I mean, I guess every city needs a different person. Next reply is, no way, at least give the criminals a chance. So we'll go to the next post. Who else is hoping that the Mask Girl appears on Reddit like, today I tasered an entitled Karen trying to take my face mask? I feel like maybe that'll actually happen. If that actually happens, then I'll be excited. So next post is, we can take bets on which subreddit she posts her story on. It could be here, of course, or Ask Me Anything, Am I the Antagonist, or the other post or whatever. I get that. So I mean, hopefully it is, but I'm guessing that the girl that has a motorcycle mask, that has a taser on deck, that's just ready to fight anybody, isn't your typical Reddit poster. But I mean, maybe not. But let's go to the next post. So she quotes the part where she says she was wearing a Gap t-shirt and flip-flops, and then she says, those are the ones that should really scare you. The next reply is saying, on the other hand, we all learned how to keep our hands to ourselves in kindergarten. As an adult, we continue to do so. Not because it's the right thing to do, but also because you never know what crazy lady could be armed. Very true. Very, very true. Depending on where you live, because some places have very strict rules against that, so then nobody might have that on them. Next reply, yeah, honestly, the way that women are treated with this and the hydro flask assault, if someone grabs a girl from behind, it's an absolutely justified self-defense move. See, I don't know anything about this hydro flask thing or whatever, but I mean, yeah, that's why this is getting crazy right now, where this is a real story, because there's like it's ramping up right now. So everybody, again, be safe at home. So next reply, who was that mask girl? It was Taser Girl, faster than electricity, able to stay calm through anything. Oh, somebody got gold for this post. First of her name, destroyer of Karens, protector of face masks, mother of tasers, taser of mothers. That's a good one. That's a really good one. So I feel like we've gone long enough. I mean, this is pretty good stuff, whatever, but we always want to see the controversial posts, because that's where the real gems are. Those are when someone posts something on Reddit and nobody can seem to agree whether or not they're being a troll, being a jerk, or they're just plain all wrong. But I like reading this type of stuff, so let's just get to it right now. Someone got 6 points for saying, that's a stun, not a taser. Also, I doubt this incident happened, and if it did, Mask Girl would likely face charges, unfortunately. Probably not, as long as, like, I feel like most those big box chain stores, they're gonna have like cameras over every register, so they'll see her getting grabbed and yanked back first. So that's gonna be just self-defense, I feel like. Yeah, see, and the next post is, no, she wouldn't. Reasonable use of self-defense. She may have to deal with Karen filing a civil lawsuit, which is very true. But let's get to the next controversial post. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called being a badass. Okay, that contributed nothing to Reddit, so okay. Oh, someone got negative 13 posts or points. And here's the thing, is that if anybody can tell me right now how to get these to expand, sometimes they don't work for me. So next downvoted reply is, you shouldn't be out buying potting soil. It's not essential. People like you needlessly expose the workers to more risk. Okay, I can kind of see why they're getting the negative votes, because it is kind of true, like the whole the stay-at-home order and everything. I don't want to make a whole bunch of big statement on that or whatever, but I get why they say, hey, you don't need soil. You don't need soil to survive. You don't need to buy it or whatever. So stay at home. They got negative 13 votes, and I feel like if this was posted in a different subreddit, it probably would have gotten a very different reply. So it's just kind of weird. like, I never care if I get a lot of downvotes on a video, and if you ever post something on Reddit and you get a lot of downvotes, don't worry about it. It never it doesn't make you any less valid or more valid if people like furiously disagree with you. But a reply is, or perhaps they're trying to ensure they can keep their family fed as the situation gets worse and worse. Know-it-all who knows nothing. You know what? That is true. Maybe they needed to... They didn't say this was about feeding their family with a garden that's going to produce crops and stuff. They just said it was like, oh, we're just going to do some DIY stuff or whatever. So this guy's negative 3 votes. Everybody's kind of jumping on each other or whatever. So let's look at the other controversial post. You're an antagonist, thou, for buying more than the allocated limited. That is kind of true. It's like the 2 per household, so I can kind of see. Okay, I mean, everybody's just gonna argue or whatever. I wish that there was more like drama related back and forth or whatever, but that's as good as it's gonna get. I mean, obviously I want to know what you guys, the decoy noise subscribers, the decoy koi as I'm calling you guys right now, are saying. So drop comments down below as to what you think you would have done in that situation. But I mean, if you made it to this end of the video, you obviously like the content, please consider subscribing down below, checking out that video over there. Just give me any feedback. I know that I need to slow down my reading and try to figure out how to get the comments to flow more smoothly, but I mean, I do listen to all the comments, so if you have any feedback or have any other suggestions, please drop it below. But as always, thanks for dropping by.